What's up, Benjamin?
We're back.
We are back. Okay, first we have to talk about where we've been. I mean, I think people know a little bit where we've been, but you have to tell me about Italy. How was Bari?
First of all, it was warm. I did not bring this bad boy, but I just wanted to show it because I randomly saw it.
Please tell me were you sitting in a nice Italian cafe with this little no? Please
No,
tell
I
me
got
you didn't do that.
so my birthday was in June, and I got it from my aunt. So and I just randomly saw it laying around here, so I thought it would fit to Italy. Yeah, I
As
was
long as it
in
stayed in Berlin, that's the important thing.
what? Sorry.
As long as it stayed in Berlin.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. No, yeah, I went to Italy, to the Puglia region. Um, Very nice, good food, good wines, good weather, very relaxing. So I had a fabulous time, and it's a city right at the beach. So what else can you ask for? Like palm trees, affordable, good public transportation system. So I went to Lecce and Monopoli and Brindisi and
You could go around. Yeah, you said.
yeah. So I can recommend that.
Fantastic. That sounds good. You haven't come back with much of a tan, though. I have to say.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like I got much more. I got a proper like burnt tan, and you come back like just a
I
lot of
can
sunscreen.
also not see a tan on you, to be honest. But no, I think I had one for like 3 days. It's the max I can get. But yeah,
Okay,
it's what it is. But you moved around way more.
I did. I got around a little bit. I spent some time in the Baltics before pushing off across to Portugal. Did some surfing. Yeah, did some yoga. I think I introduced this to the guys who ever caught us last week. So yeah, I think we had a little nice some break.
Yeah, and the team that is on your jersey also had a nice little summer break, huh?
Yeah, not bad. Where United are firing in the transfer market, man. Rafa
Mhm.
Varane, four-time Champions League winner, World Cup winner, I think 3 or 4 La Ligas. Jadon Sancho before that, and now there are more talks of a good midfielder coming on. I like the look of my team.
Yeah, good one, good one. You mentioned the number 3. You mentioned number 4. I would like to mention the number 5. Why would I want to do that? What do you think?
What a segue, Ben. What a segue. Yeah, actually, even I was lost. I wasn't sure where you were going with that, but that was good. All right. Yeah, that is what we do every week. We are bringing the top 5 bits of news from the world of sports tech, and I'm going to kick off this week, Ben,
Go
because
for it.
it has been my life's goal to introduce to you cricket.
Man,
Okay,
you have
for
poor life
this,
goals, but
yeah.
appreciate it.
I have a few, but no. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with there has been a new format which has been introduced, which is
Ooh,
called the 100. All right, the 100 is this exciting competition where cricket is in 100 deliveries. It's a much shorter format. The whole game basically lasts for 2.5 hours. It's much more consumable. You don't have to sit in front of a TV like I do for 5 days. That's the first thing. Okay. But what the 100 is also doing, yeah, it's like cricket. As you can see from the graphics, it's super exciting. What the 100 is also doing is that they are launching with Sky Sports groundbreaking technology. I'm not sure how groundbreaking it is, but basically they're doing digital avatars. In fact, we covered this a few weeks ago with Nike, right? We did where Nike were doing something similar with, I think there was Naomi Osaka and a couple of other players, where they had these digital avatars using AR that you can project from your phone. Well, the 100 is doing that as well. They have a couple of different formats. They do it for men and women's cricket. So yeah, it's fun. It's a nice way to interact, and you can have your favorite cricketers and all the big names: Joss Butler, Ben Stokes, names that you might not be so familiar with, but they're excellent cricketers. All have digital avatars that people can play around with. It's just a bit of fan engagement. Hopefully, this entices you to watch some cricket, Ben. What do you think?
I got questions, obviously. First of all, why is it called the 100?
Okay, it's 100 deliveries. Okay, a pitch, a ball, one delivery. That's the equation. One pitch. It happens 100 times.
Ah,
That's why it's called 100.
okay.
Yeah.
And that is the new short format.
It's the latest craze. Okay, a little background. England has always been the mother of the home of a lot of sports, they came up with T20, which was the previous iteration in cricket about 12 years ago, which has completely taken over the world of cricket. And now which was about a 4-hour game. Now they've shortened that to 2.5 hours.
Mhm.
So the idea is to, a shorter game, which is easier to consume. And that's what the 100 is.
Okay, second question. Um, how big is female cricket? Because I just saw the AR avatar with
Yep.
the female player.
Yep.
Tell me that.
Well, I mean, as with any other sport, women's cricket or the women's side of the sport is growing. And there has been a conscious effort by all tournament organizers to have a women's edition running parallelly. Even if there'll be slightly lesser viewership, everybody acknowledges that, but still there's a lot of push that's happening. So the 100 launched with both editions together, the men's and the
Mm.
women's are happening simultaneously. If
Okay.
I go back to that video that I showed you earlier, I think you'll see that somewhere where it talks about, you can see men and women, like all the competition is for both of them. So they're making men and women's competitions, as you can see, but they're making a concerted effort to
Mhm.
produce both sides.
I see. I like it. The question only is, I mean, those AR overlays, they're nice. But
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
question is, yeah,
I mean, it's a bit of fun.
it's just okay, just a bit of fun. That's it,
It's
right?
just a
So
bit of
it's,
fun.
and it's not connected to the game in any way. Just a little bit of
No, no, no.
playing.
It's just something to drive engagement. I mean, like I said, we saw Nike do this earlier, and that time it was cool. This is now we're seeing it done again. So maybe it's a
Yeah.
bit old for us, but I think it's still cool.
All right. Then let's move on to the next topic.
Let's do it.
I am speaking about recovery and meditation. Let me, move away that screen. Hyperice, we talked about those guys before. It's a recovery company used by many of the big athletes in the American leagues. I think they have solutions to, let's say, recover and cool down after a game. For example, those, I don't know what you call them, one of those, what you put over your legs, like after the game. Those solutions, you know what they call?
Warmers?
Sorry?
You mean like leg warmers, or are you talking about the ice packs?
Yeah, exactly. I think they have them to warm your legs and cool them down both ways. Whatever. That company has made a bunch of acquisitions over the last couple of months, and one of them happened last week, and we found it very interesting. They bought a company called Core, and we're gonna go on the website in a minute. And this is actually a new move for them, for Hyperice, because they're basically expanding their product line with this acquisition and moving into the meditation space. And as you might be able to tell from this picture, it's this little pod here that is, let's say, your companion while doing your meditation. And what it does is it not only comes with an app with some instructions and what you can do, like the typical meditation apps that you might know. It also gives you feedback, haptical feedback, so a little vibration, and also I think it's measuring heart rate and those kind of things. So it's basically adding another layer to your meditation workout. And yeah, this is the news. What do you think, Ron?
Nice. Hopefully the meditation will help with a bit of the cold that I've got going. But no, I mean, jokes aside, Hyperice is a cool company. We saw them acquire RecoverX, which is a company that we liked. I think that deal happened 3-4 months ago, so this is clearly growing. The only question I have about this deal is it doesn't seem core to the product. I mean, meditation is a bit kind of tangential. This is very physical recovery. So I guess you can say meditation is mental recovery, but I didn't see a direct connect of how they would integrate it. It just feels maybe
it's
there's
not
another device that they would offer. I don't know.
I think it's not necessarily about integration. I think it's more about seeing performance very holistically. I mean, we talked about sleep a lot, where you don't have the direct integration. Meditation, I think, is the same story. So I think it's more like Hyperice positioning themselves as a holistic performance company, which also includes something that many athletes do. I mean, many athletes like to do yoga and also meditation. I think that's a trend. So I think it's a good move for them to position themselves there. And
Yeah, I
also
mean,
for you guys out there, just saying, I mean, if you want to have one of those pots, as you can see, they have a discount thing going on, and yeah, just play around with it. I would test it. Send it to us.
yeah, good shout. Core itself, the product I like. Hyperice itself, the product I like. I agree. The strategy with the holistic approach, it just feels like they've made a jump. Hopefully, it'll work
Yeah.
out for them.
Sweet. Next one then, huh?
Next one, and we're going across the pond to the MLB.
Mhm.
Now, we've actually seen the MLB, and we know the head of innovation at the MLB, Ben Shapiro, who's been a supporter of STX content, or let's say whatever, our content in other forms in previous times. So we know they're always pretty innovative. Now, the MLB has addressed a particularly bony issue for them, which is catcher signals of how the catcher and the pitcher communicate. Now, for this end, what they're doing is they're testing. I won't show you which ad was about to play there, but they're testing using some tech to make this transmission. Basically, what they're doing is they're going to give a pad to the catcher, right? And that's where the catcher can give some sort of code. There's a transmitter in his helmet, in the catcher's helmet, and there is a receiver in the pitcher's headband, right? That's what it says. Yeah, is one of the catcher's wristband and the two receivers fit on the sweatband of the pitcher's cap and the padding of the catcher's helmet. Anyway, it doesn't matter where they're placed, but the idea is that there's a way for the catcher to communicate electronically with the pitcher. So there's none of those little finger signals and yeah, straight ball, whatever. Yeah, I'm not a huge baseball fan. But this is the idea, and a lot of that also has to do with there was the Houston Naturals controversy not so long ago, which was I don't know, they were using trash cans to communicate where what the other team was doing and things like that. So trying to do it electronically hopefully reduces the manual intervention and the chance for let's see, sign stealing, which is the biggest crime here. They're installing other things they've also done in the recent past. An automated strike zone, if you recall, this was a story that we covered, I think, the stories from March. So we covered it a few months ago. All of this is being trialed in the minors. This is none of it is coming to the majors yet, but they're doing a lot of trials. But this is, of course, to remove the errors that any umpire can make. So the MLB trying a bunch of interesting tech. Yeah, let's see how that goes.
Yeah, a few thoughts on this. First of all, don't you think that it looks super old school when you look at it?
Yeah.
It's
I
like
was
it's like my grandma's phone, where like back in the days where you had to put the fingers in and to dial. So I think they could have made it a bit nicer.
I had a similar thought the first time I looked at it, and then the only way I could reconcile was like maybe it's just easy if it's just big bold numbers. Like sometimes if you've seen a Formula One driver's steering wheel, it's just knobs and dials in very like bold colors. It looks a bit old school, but I guess when you're under that pressure and high performance, you just need it clear. I don't know, but I agree. It looked a bit weird. It looks like an old calculator.
Yeah, and also why has the number 5 such like a prominent spot? I mean,
yeah, the design will definitely do some work.
It's bigger than the other buttons. Yeah, but that aside, I mean, I get it, but I didn't know that it's such an issue, and it would also mean that like those secret signals that all those baseball guys do, they would disappear, which I would find a bit sad because I think it looks a bit funny.
Yeah, I mean, all the other stuff is those guys do. Yeah, I think that's still there. This is just the all of the I never understood like why is it so rudimentary, but maybe this is the influx of tech, and maybe they'll just give you earphones and earpieces at some point. But this is a step in that direction. It's being trialed in the minors. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm always up for tests. Interesting.
Yep.
Next topic.
Let's go.
My favorite letters in 2021, NFT.
Let's go.
As always, I can talk about this for long. I'll try to keep it short. A news of the week, already a week ago, was that DraftKings is launching an NFT marketplace. We'll discuss that. But now the news is that they're going to be the exclusive home to NFTs from a platform that was started by Tom Brady called Autograph. And let's quickly jump onto that page. This is Tom Brady's autograph page. And as you can already read, there are a few interesting founding partners. I don't even know what exactly founding partners means. They didn't explain it, but I think it's fair to expect that we will see NFTs from those guys. And it's like, I don't know, like a Hall of Fame, like Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, Naomi Osaka, Derek Jeter, Wayne Gretzky, Tony Hawk, and Lionsgate. So this is big names. And what DraftKings basically did is they secured the exclusive right to those NFTs. So the NFTs will only be sold via DraftKings platform. And why they do this is pretty obvious, I think. DraftKings has 1.5 million customers or so, if I recall correctly from that article. Let me quickly double check that. Yeah, 1.5 million monthly active paying users. So this directly gives Autograph an audience, and I think this is super relevant. And DraftKings benefits because I guess they get a share of the fee, and they have some really interesting properties that come through Autograph right away. And if you guys out there would like to have an NFT, I think for free, I'm not entirely sure, then you might have seen it on this page already. You can claim your username as an NFT. So what you see here, this on the upper right, can be claimed as an NFT. I think for free. The issue only is when you register, you have to use your mobile number, and at the moment they only accept mobile numbers from the US and the UK. I thought about using one of those like fake numbers or use it once and dump them, but then the question is maybe I need that number. That phone number to I don't know, confirm something later on. So I wasn't bold enough to do this. Long story short, Brady's Autograph platform that still needs to officially launch has a big partner, has a big audience, and now I think it's all about producing nice, good NFTs. Your call on it, your opinion.
I mean, the big statement is DraftKings taking it more and more seriously. I mean, overall, we've seen, NFTs in sports as a general topic, is cooling down a bit. We know that the volumes are not as high as they were a few months ago. At the same time, we're still seeing a huge flood in the market. Teams are still launching stuff. Everybody's still doing things, or everybody still wants to do things. So on one side, you've got a market which is a bit like trying to figure out what's happening. On the other side, the supply keeps coming. And this is another big name making a big bet on NFTs. I mean, DraftKings will put a lot of money behind it. That's for sure. Will that be the push that the NFTs in sports space needs to come back up again? I don't know.
The other super relevant question that comes to mind immediately is whether you will finally get your first NFT. It's for free.
If I can mint an NFT in my own name, or what is it? What is the deal? I get it in my name or my likeness, or I put an image? Whatever.
Yeah, it's your username. So you can. I mean, you can even. The funny thing is, you can even use maybe Nike as a username and mint that. Or I don't know. I'm sure a bunch of people will do some nonsense with that.
Yeah, actually, I would probably do it in my friend's name, Hugh. Have you met Hugh? No,
is there a joke coming up, or
yeah, Mr. Jazz, we call him. But I would probably mint it in his name.
Good one. Next one, last one, number one topic.
Last one. Let's go. And Ben, I don't know if you have noticed that the Olympics is going on. Have you been watching? Have you been tracking?
I was about to ask you as well. I did not watch a single event yet. I mean, I've watched a few of the summaries, but I mean, it's very much in line with the global audience. I mean, viewing numbers are not so good. Interest is not so high. So no, I'm not following much.
Yeah, I mean, India won a silver at the Olympics in weightlifting. Which is solid. We had a female athlete win one, so that was big news. I think that happened on day 1 or day 2. So it started really well, and I think we're already in day 5 or 6. And after that, we haven't heard much. That's the India story. The US story has been more interesting. I think this is the first Olympics that the US did not win any medal on the opening day since the 72 Olympics. And also, I mean, add that to the fact that the Team USA basketball has not had a good time. They lost to, they had a bunch of problems in the warm-up games, and they lost to France in the opening game. So yeah, that's also been, and I think Simone Biles didn't have a great start. Naomi Osaka is already out. So I think there's been
Yeah, Simone Biles, didn't she pull out now?
has she pulled out already? I didn't see
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
oh, there you go. So even worse. I mean, she didn't have a great first day. I think she was speaking about injury, but I missed this news. So
And
yeah, it's
skateboarding is a big one. Like the 13-year-old gold medal winner from Japan, I think.
yeah, and there was the also the youngest guy from the 12-year-old kid. I think which sport was he competing in? Anyway, whatever. There are lots of stories, but it's these funny stories which are maybe getting a bit of attention. Anyway, what we wanted to talk about is the tech. All right, so let's start with that. Actually, this story I want to start with is the heat stroke issue because just yesterday we had Danny Medvedev, world number two. He pretty much collapsed on the court and was like basically accusing the umpire of like, "Will you take responsibility if I die on the court?" I mean, he did come through and beat Fognini in three, but I think there was a Spanish women's player who retired from her game basically after losing the first set. So in connection with that, Alibaba kind of preemptively, this news is from a week ago, but they're using these little ear sensors to help with heat stroke and help with management. They help keep track of body temperature and heart rate, and in case there is a stroke, these alerts will be sent to either the paramedics or they will advise some precautionary action even before it actually takes place. This is just one instance of tech at the Olympics. We've seen a lot more. I'll take a
Question.
view of a more.
Question.
Sorry.
Before you, oh, that's a
Yeah.
good one. Go back to the other one. Just a question. This is for the staff that is working at the Olympics, right? It's not for the athletes.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have made that clear. This is for the staff because the athletes you wouldn't expect to be wearing during the tournament, during the events, but this is for the individual working staff. Yes.
And then second question, a quick one. Why is it so relevant this time? Or are the temperatures so high compared to other Olympic games? Or what made Alibaba in this case go for it? Do you know that?
Good question. I mean, I think that they've talked about basically it's a strange year. I don't think this article talks anything to that point, but I
Maybe
don't know if
some
there's
COVID connection?
I don't know if it's a heat wave. Maybe they just didn't anticipate the temperatures this year as much.
Mhm.
I don't know. I can't answer that, but it seems like Alibaba had expected this
Mhm.
and had already had some sort of technology available already. So it's pretty good on their part, I think.
I'm using this one.
Fair.
It's
That is
cool,
that
cool
is
tech.
that is some old school cool tech, let's say. But no, moving on to a bit more fun story.
Yeah.
This robot. Speaking of basketball, maybe the U.S. men's team should recruit this guy. Uh, and he has been making 3 pointers. His shooting form is not bad, but this is a robot from Toyota, which they introduced. I think there's been messing around at the event, so you can see he makes his way to the halfway line, and actually pretty comfortably drains the shot from the logo.
Three in a
This
row, right?
sorry, yeah,
Three
yeah,
in a row.
three in a row. He made it from the free throw line, then 3 pointer, and then from the halfway line. And apparently, before, yeah, let him. He takes forever to shoot. I can't even move on from this. There you go. Boom. Nothing but net. Steph Curry would be proud. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the point of the robot is. It's his name is Q, and he can shoot with nearly 100% accuracy. They were tested. Yeah, he's 6'10". I don't know why, but sure. Is that LeBron's height or something? But he practiced over 200,000 times. That's the kind of shot making he was doing. Excuse me, sorry. And his flick of the wrist is impressive. The guy is pretty cool. But what I found most interesting was this guy running around with the cable. Like wherever Q goes, he has to run behind him so that Q can make his shot. Like that's I don't know if I want that job.
Yeah, but it looks super smooth the way it's moving and shooting and all that. I mean, if it gets a bit faster and if there's a cable to be removed, that's really interesting. But the question, is go ahead.
No, that was my question, Ben. How far away are we from seeing Team USA of Q?
Lose against the robot team.
I don't know. But sorry, you had one.
No, my question is where are they going with this? I mean, I guess they're just showing off that this is possible, that it's working, the tech capabilities and some PR stunt, obviously, because this went viral. yeah, will it lead to robot games at some point? I don't know. That might be the big one there.
I think robot games is for sure. We've talked about it before on the show. I think that's a certain thing. This is, I mean, there's a long way to go. The capability of the robot itself, as you saw, it's super slow. Also, the way it shoots, it can't dribble a lot of things, but it can shoot. So maybe it's just different types of 3-point contests. I would also love to see a comeback of the robot wars. You remember those? We can talk about that, where they just keep smashing each other up. But
Yeah.
anyway, last one, more on the social side. I'll quickly wrap this up. But remember, we talked about the virtual Olympics.
Yeah, of course.
We, yeah, that has been a huge success. Over 250,000 people have participated. So Olympics
Ooh.
have seen, yeah, a really good. Sorry, these sniffles are not going away. But anyway, Olympics have seen a lot of uptick on that, and it really seems that the Olympics have got their, let's say, connect to youth strategy right. They're also doing a lot of content on Snapchat. Maybe that's why you should be going for updates, though I will. Um, but they've got 5 daily shows from the Summer Olympics where they're producing all sorts of content. This is all run by NBC, of course, and I think it's primarily focused around Team USA. But there is other content. There is NBC Olympic highlights. There's NBC Olympic Spotlight, where we'll create some content for a younger audience to at least get an update of what is happening at the Olympics. Cool initiatives.
Yeah, the thing is, I hardly ever use Snapchat. I don't know when I logged in last time. Maybe I should do that and then just see what they're doing, just to get an impression.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm sure, and this is Snapchat. I'm sure they have content around Instagram. I haven't checked because I don't check much. But it's a good strategy. It's a good strategy.
I like it. Yeah, some interesting news. I mean, even though we're in summer where typically news like cool down a bit, I think there's still some interesting things going on.
That there is, because the sport is happening, Benjamin. There's Olympics and there is the 100. We have to
Oh,
organize a
the
watch party.
100. The 100. If you guys want to test some cool tech, I'm sure Mr. Malhotra already told you last week that we have put up something like a shop. It's nothing big, but it's a very nice and good directory of cool sports tech stuff out there. And we encourage you to have a look and to just browse what is available. I always wanted to have one of those drones, by the way. And yeah, you have a nice little filter here. You can, for example, look for a specific sport. So yeah, for example, we talked about basketball. The robot is not here. But yeah, if you want to do something in basketball and see what the sports tech world has in place for you, you can search for that just as one example. So go to hellosportstech.com/shop for cool sports tech products that you can actually use and buy.
Exactly. These are products, not apps. We haven't focused on the software. We just brought you the products, but this is a place for you to start. That's the goal.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it from us today. Back in the game, and I guess we see you next week at the same time.
Ciao.
Cool. Ciao.